The IDF says they have launched new attacks on Hezbollah targets in Lebanon. That's hours after Iran warned that missiles are at the ready if those kinds of strikes don't stop. All as President Trump tells NBC News he is very optimistic that a peace agreement with Iran is within reach. Let's bring in retired four-star General Joseph Votel, former CENTCOM commander and distinguished military fellow at the Middle East Institute. So President Trump, General, and thanks for being with us, optimistic that something can be reached. But in the initial hours of the ceasefire agreement, it seems that Iran is up to its old game of delay, play for time, move the goalposts, complain about everything, and then in the next 2 weeks hope that enough international pressure builds on the United States to not attack Iran a second time, that Iran can wriggle free of all of this. What do you think?
Yeah, thanks, John. Good to be with you. Well, this agreement was put together very, very quickly, and so there's a lot of details that weren't developed when it was conceived just a couple of days ago. So there's a lot of work to be done to hammer that out, and hopefully, with our negotiations this weekend, led by the Vice President, we'll be able to begin to nail down some of those more finite details that will actually put a little more rigor into the ceasefire process.
Well, if Iran is, as usual, just trying to play for time here and run out the clock, President Trump doesn't seem to be having any of it. He posted this on Truth Social. All U.S. ships, aircraft, and military personnel with additional ammunition, weaponry, and anything else that is appropriate and necessary for the lethal prosecution and destruction of an already substantially degraded enemy will remain in place and around Iran until such time as the real agreement reached is fully complied with. I mean, it seems to me, I've covered this president for quite a while now, that he means what he says, and if Iran doesn't come to the table, as happened in Gaza with Hamas, the bombs will start falling again.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, he's certainly going to use the U.S. military that's deployed in the region as kind of a coercive force here to put some emphasis behind the negotiation effort. That's very, very important that he has that in place. And of course, our forces, while they may be hanging around, they're not sitting around. We're going to be continuing to conduct surveillance operations. We're going to be continuing to do freedom of movement in the international waters and in the airspace, and we're going to be prepared to respond if something happens. So yeah, this is an important component of moving forward.
So Kuwait is now saying that missiles and drones are being fired at its territory. Quick thought on that, General, if you would, to close us out.
Yeah, it's hard to explain. This could be a variety of things. It could be Iran, the regime testing, or it could be commanders who have not necessarily gotten the word or are trying to take advantage of something they see. So, I think the important point here is to kind of tighten back down on that type of stuff and make it very, very clear that that's not going to be tolerated. So.
All right. Well, the UAE said that if Iran keeps striking it, it may engage militarily. So we'll keep watching and see. Maybe, as you point out, some people just didn't get the message. May be the case. General, thanks for being with us.